Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday, February 7th, weekly online meeting of the Natural Right Sangha. Right now, we have a few people in India, Spain, Germany, America, of course. We have a person in Japan, except she's in India right now, another friend in Japan who's probably watching this. We have members all over, which of course is why we meet online. One very dear member, snowbound in Mount Shasta, California right now, the last I heard anyway. It's a strange time. I've probably said this before, a couple times at least, but we have well, I'll tell you what, let's meditate first. Let's meditate, and then we'll discuss this. Okay. So please set your timer for 10 or 15 or 20 or however many minutes you wish to meditate. We don't do guided meditations or haven't yet. We might sometime. If you'd like one, please let me know. They can be very beneficial. I was in a group that used them to great effect, and then the group turned bad. And since then, I haven't done them so much. But the group turned bad because the leader fell prey to some of drugs, sex, fame, power, or money, which a person much smarter than me said are the big five that tear down potentially good spiritual teachers. If anything's going to catch them, it's going to be drugs, sex, fame, power, money. And with drugs, we include alcohol, of course. So let's do our meditation. Sitting up straight, relaxed, eyes closed, and focusing on the breath, letting thoughts go if and when they come, and they will. Just let them go. Don't follow them. And set your timer, and when it goes off, in however many minutes you choose, please turn this back on. Here we go. Welcome back. I know I always feel better, even if for me it's relatively short. I always feel better after taking the time to abide for even a few breaths. Now, I'd like to mention the craziness of these times right now. In India, journalists witness a person being shot by the police. The person dies. They write an article about it. They have many witnesses. They've got pictures. And then the police arrest the journalists saying that they're guilty of sedition because they're reporting on something that didn't happen and they're trying to make the government look bad. Excuse me? The person died, witnesses saw it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The journalist report on what the witnesses said, and the person was dead, and the police arrest them for lying. George Orwell would probably not be surprised by that. In America, we have a congressperson who has posed with a gun, saying these people better watch out, with a picture of 3 other Congress people on a poster with her. She's chased after victims of who's had 17 fellow students killed in a school shooting massacre in Florida, and chases after this person saying, "Why are you trying to take away my gun rights?" Calling them a coward. While she's saying, "I have an undercover carry permit and I carry." Well, the person was probably scared crapless. Here's a gun owner chasing him down the street. Right after he'd met with senators trying to get more stringent gun laws passed. This same person says that a rich Jewish family has satellite in space with laser beams, and this laser beams are coming from this satellite and hitting places in California and trying to burn down forests so that the ex-governor of California could get his railway built. Jewish laser beams from space. As one Jewish person joked, well, if we had laser beams from space, there'd be fewer Nazis around. The same person retweeted or approved of a post that said that Hillary Clinton and her campaign staff allegedly sacrificed chickens to the pagan god Moloch during the 2016 campaign. Yeah, this is, of course, the same Hillary Clinton who this congressperson also believes is a member of a cannibalistic, pedophilic, Satanist, child trafficking organization that's mostly full of Democrats and other evildoers around the world, which is, of course, the QAnon theory, from which Donald Trump was supposed to save the world and come in as a hero and arrest all of these bastards and for pedophilia and cannibalism and and what they did with their Satanism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which didn't happen to their shock. Well, all of these things are being propounded by a US congressperson. Never in my rather long life right now would I have guessed that would have happened, but I keep going back to the precepts. Refrain from harming any living being. Never take something which is not freely offered by another. Speak and listen mindfully, without lies, slander, and gossip. Okay, now it's easy to want to slander some people right now. Like, can you believe what this idiot is saying? Hard to resist. Another precept: avoid unnecessary suffering by living without assumptions and expectations. Well, I certainly never expected a congressperson to speak like this, let alone to mollycoddle insurrectionists the way that Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley have done. That was an expectation I had too, is that these people wouldn't go that far. Well, guess what? They did. And they have. And they still are. Avoid those things and maintain a healthy body and to engage in proper sexual activities. That is, sex only with consenting adults, other consenting adults. Never consume, inject, allow, apply, or take anything natural or man-made into or onto my body that I believe could result in injury, in damage to myself or others, in physical, social, or civil harm or abridgment of rights. Now, that's a huge one right now. A lot of people are going through a lot of soul searching on whether they should take the COVID vaccines or not. We talked about this last week, but it's still a huge topic. And as I mentioned, way back in the 80s and 70s, I carried what was called a yellow card, and it showed all of the vaccines I'd gotten. Well, I didn't think much of it then. I thought it was a medical necessity, and they wanted to make sure that I would keep their country safe by not spreading diseases if I caught them to people in their country, and I didn't want to get diseases in their country, and they didn't want me to get diseases in their country. So it made sense going to East Africa or some parts of Asia at that time, especially, you should have those. It made sense to me. I didn't mind. But now all of a sudden I mind. Is it because I'm smarter? Is it because I'm ornerier? Is it because I'm more wary of what's in these vaccines now than I used to be? I'm looking at this a lot. There was an article that I didn't read, but the headline was that confirmed hardcore anti-vaxxers deciding to take COVID vaccine. Hmm. Not surprised. Again, it's our call individually, your call individually, not our call, your call. But it's each of our calls to make on what we do here. So the Natural Rights Sangha will support you either way you decide. Uh, right now, the one thing I am sure of is that my friend in Lake Tahoe, California, South Lake Tahoe, California, is absolutely correct. Even if the vaccines aren't inherently bad, they're giving them to kids way too young. And he has quite a few kids, and he won't let any of them get a single vaccination until they're 2.5. And then he says when they get them, and he doesn't allow any of these 5-in-1 vaccines, which, oh yeah, it's very economical for the uh, doctor. They'll just jab them in there and, oh, 5 are done. Check, 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 check. But what does that do to the kid? So to me, this makes sense. Save the kids at least. All of the paranoia about Bill Gates and the Gates chip and all of this, the Gates chip isn't happening. And as someone said, who needs it? Right now, they can track you with cell phones, facial recognition, car license plates, credit card usage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why would you ever need a Gates chip to find somebody these days? It's easy to find anybody if they put their minds to it. Let alone the fact that any Google device or Android device, they can turn on the camera remotely and look at you. Even while your device is off, they have that capability if it's plugged in. Or if it's battery powered, probably. So what do they need a Gates chip for? They don't, but it's kind of weird because Gates very quietly has become the largest owner of farmland in America. And he's a huge GMO fan. Now, putting healthy things into your body is just not talking about vaccines. It's also talking about all the pesticides, herbicides, antibiotics, etc., that go into our food, the fertilizers, everything that goes into what we eat. It's already been shown that a lot of seafood, the type of shellfish and the type of like shrimp that live on the bottom and feed, in Asia, a lot of these live in what sewer lagoons and live off of sewage and grow big and fat and juicy and get harvested out of having eaten sewage all their lives, and then they're marketed to us. What's in our food? One person was laughing, saying, "Why worry about vaccines? We eat more crap every week than in any single vaccine." And this is something to look at. Natural food, locally grown food, nothing, no sprays on it, organic food. Is this the way to go in order to be healthier and to maintain the precepts? Well, seems obvious. Yes, we have to lean that way. But again, it's your call. You need to look at this and go, okay, where is this line for me? Now, to assist the old, the physically and mentally infirm, the less strong, and the young, to protect them from abuse and other harm, respect all traditions and paths, and exercise generosity and compassion. I combined three precepts there. Very quickly, I didn't even read the whole thing, but this is how I have to look at people like that congressperson who spouts all this weird, hateful stuff. Um, I have to try to exercise generosity and compassion. I have to try to respect the fact that this is that person's path right now. And even though I find it abhorrent that that's her path and all of the things in her life, or genetics, or conditioning, and everything have led her this way. And much as I do not like it, it is what it is. Yeah. And to assist the mentally infirm, if you want to look at someone like that way, assist them by not criticizing and not attacking, except in a logical, impersonal, non-emotional manner, as in, geez, I really do think those school killings happened, and I don't think they were a false flag operation for evil liberals or Hillary Clinton and her baby eaters to try to make the right look bad, rather than you stupid bitch, are you high? That's we don't want to go there, right? Okay. If you have any questions or would like anything discussed here, please let me know at mark@naturalrightsangha.org. And thank you for having come. Let's end as usual with the four agreements. Did I say four agreements? Oh my God. The four immeasurables. The four agreements, of course, are those things that are part of the precepts, and I often do that. The four immeasurables, which is a Buddhist thing, wonderful one, and that's immeasurable because the things that are mentioned here cannot be measured in a physical way. So, first we'll do for we. Okay, and so please repeat. May we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May we reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Okay, so now let's do it for all. For all, the four measurables for all. You, me, everybody, everything, every sentient being, all that is. May all have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May all reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your February of 2021 or whenever you're watching this. Blessings.